boom, 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 boom. New stuff like sports betting was good against F. Here, and the world keeps turning. Here in the United States, sports betting is largely illegal. People still do it, just like a lot of things. But that's besides the point. It's illegal on an institutional level, on a federal level, and that's the important part. Individually, states, now Nevada has the right to do sports betting because they've been doing it for so long, and basically the law changed back in 1974, I want to say, and they gave states like the chance to go for it. And Nevada was the only one that kind of did it because of their casinos and the whole 9 yards, right? So Vegas, sure, doesn't matter. But the rest of the country could not. Atlantic City has some interesting rules, but in general, if you were to bet on will the Jets beat the Giants, will the Yankees beat the Red Sox, and now here in 2018, will Dignitas beat Envy, all of that's illegal. Now, the United States federal government has said that is no longer the case. It's no longer illegal on a federal level. It's up to states individually to go ahead and make that law. Now, frankly, there are some states where nothing will change. But I'll be honest with you, I think there's a lot of states that are going to go ahead and make that legal. And most importantly, because it's federally legal, the whole internet is open up to it. And that's where we come in. This is largely an esports channel, so that's what we're talking about here. How does the sports betting legalization affect esports? And I think it's really interesting because I think that sports betting is very scary to small leagues, to games that aren't established, to worlds where money is important. And unfortunately, that's esports. When you watch traditional sports, when you watch basketball, baseball, football, hockey, but maybe a little bit less so, but even hockey, those players, every player, the worst player is being paid a gazillion dollars, right? You're talking maybe $500,000 for some of the freshest couple of day rookies, but everybody else is getting $1 million. Like, you're already rich no matter what. So a team that's chasing a championship or looking to win games, the wins mean more than the money. Theoretically, right? Because if I'm out there making $50 million a year, an extra couple of thou from my gambling experience is not a question. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The important part is there is value to the trophy. Winning the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the World Series, right? There is value in just winning. If you ask any of these athletes, do they want to win the NBA championship or do they want a ton more money? The answer is the championship. There's a value to that world. Now you come down into esports and it depends. When you look at League of Legends, now Overwatch League just had some of their numbers leaked and those players don't make as much money as you would think. But I'm sure that's the short term. When you look at League of Legends and even Counter-Strike players, these players make a shitload of money. And when it comes down to, let's say, League of Legends, and I'll use Overwatch in the future, but let's say League of Legends, I think that these players are more allured by the actual trophy. Now, Dota is a little bit of both because they only have that one giant international. But when you look at other leagues, and I leave Counter-Strike out of this for a reason, when you look at other leagues, I am sure that all of our players in the Smite Pro League love to win and want to win. But if you offered them $10 million or the trophy, I think a lot of them would take the $10 million, and I wouldn't fault them for it. Now, if that $10 million came from gambling and throwing games, well, then I would fault them for it, and that's a secondary conversation. Now, I have faith in our players not to go ahead and throw games, not to pull a Pete Rose, although he bet on his own team, so maybe that's the wrong idea. But I trust our players not to bet against themselves and throw games for extra money. But that's because I know our players intimately, right? And I know that they're not going to go ahead and do that sort of thing. So let's take Smite out of this. If you look at smaller leagues that are less established, there is a lot of temptation to be the player that throws for victory. iBuyPower, famously, completely competitively banned from all of Valve events as competitors because they did the same thing. Now, Counter-Strike has betting on sports, and we saw what happened with Counter-Strike. They did it kind of wishy-washy, which is why it was legal, and I put that in air quotes. But essentially, Counter-Strike already did this. They tried betting on games, and guess what? Teams threw games to win money from gambling. That is going to be a harsh reality for a lot of the esports clubs. When you look at traditional sports, the temptation is lower because you're already making a gazillion dollars. But in the world of esports, where there's multiple upstart games, where players are making poverty line or bottom, where players need multiple streams of revenue. If I'm a pro player, I need to stream. I need to make YouTube videos. I need to take sponsorships to eat. You're telling me if I throw a game or two that I could make rent this month? Integrity of the league? The league has existed for 2 years. I'm playing Super Dragon Ball Combat Fighter. Their league doesn't exist in its grassroots tournaments. There's a lot of temptation there. The positive side. You are going to get more eyes. Watching any game is interesting. Watching any game when there's money on the line is more interesting. Hard stop. I don't like to gamble. And I've done my I guess I'm admitting to illegal activity. Hold on one second. Statute of limitations, gambling. Statute of limitations in New York State. We are good. So, when I was a little boy, I definitely put money down on some baseball games. And watching the game was much more exciting. I don't even like to gamble. So that's flat out. You will get more eyes. You're also going to get more eyes just because of its proximity. If I'm at the, OTB, if I'm trying to bet someplace and I'm looking, I'm like, horse racing, there are the odds. Basketball, there are the odds. Baseball, there are the odds. Counter-Strike, Smite, League. What is this? I've never heard of this game. I don't really know the game, but those are some odds I'll take. Who the fuck is Team Silo Mid? Yeah. Put 500 on them. We'll see if they win. You know what I mean? And then those people might become fans. There's also the idea of gaming as a service. Maybe these gaming leagues don't exist without this sort of partnership. Maybe nobody wants to watch unless there's money involved. There's a lot of upside with respect to grabbing additional viewership. You already have the viewership you have, but those people that aren't watching esports for the fact that they are esports, if you put money into it, maybe that they will watch. Realistically, everybody's looking for a bottom line. Is legalized sports betting good or bad for esports? And here's where it boils down. Everybody should link to 825 in the video for my answer. It depends on the entity and size and breadth of the esport. For established leagues where players don't have to, for established leagues where integrity of the trophy is valuable in its own right, you're looking in a scenario where that is much less a threat. Where I just, as a player, want to win the trophy because it represents what I want to do in life. For leagues that don't have, for leagues and games that don't have that, i.e. games that don't have leagues, Counter-Strike becomes scary, Dota becomes scary, although the International is a giant cash grab. Event-based games like that become scary. Fighting games can become very scary. But if you are an established league and you don't have to worry about that, well, then who gives a fuck? You're going to get more eyes. So I think for the younger, less established scenes, that this can be scary but isn't outright bad. I think it is outright good in that more people will watch esports and more people will be interested in esports overall, big picture. But for the smaller, less established leagues, it does create a spot where you're a little afraid if your favorite player is going to throw the game because he needs to eat. Is your favorite player going to bet against himself because he needs to pay the rent? That's where it becomes scary. And I hope the players kind of defend that. And of course, it's up to the leagues to root that out and ban those bad players, etc., etc., etc. But the temptation will be there. With that said, that's a maybe. And I think the gaining bigger eyes, more audience, probably the other way around to verbalize that. And also just we're in more establishments, right? You're going to be on the bookkeepers list. You're going to be if people are gambling on it, it's going to be on the TV. Now you're going to have more people watching it. Almost secondarily, I didn't bet on it, but the people that bet on it create a culture that bet on it. Means that they create a culture that demands people to watch that. Means that it's going to be on the TV. Means that the person down the block that didn't bet on the game will still see it on TV, and that'll grow. Big picture, this is positive for esports, but the smaller guys have to be scared. I've got great big hopes, and I'm crossing my fingers and just hoping that everything is good. This could be a very big positive, and I just implore all of the people in a position to fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up, because this isn't a situation where you fuck things up for yourself. This is a situation where you fuck things up for tons of other people. If everybody says, okay, we're going to allow betting in League of Legends, Smite, and viewership goes up 100,000, and then one team bets against themselves, throws the game, and then we ban it and viewership goes down 500,000, well, fuck you, buddy. So I hope the players and orgs and league ops, it goes the whole way. It's not just players. Whoever involved in a position to fuck this up, please don't fuck this up, because sports betting could be great for esports as long as all of the people play the game. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is it totally bad? Is it a good thing? Is it a secretly good thing like I've presented? I don't know. I really hope it's positive, and I think it will be. Let me know, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace, and much love to you. Boom, 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 boom.